What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is the Blacklist Redemption Season 1, Episode 7, Whitehall. So, this is pretty much the lead up to the season finale, which will happen this week. And ultimately, it was pretty good. I talked about this in the last review. One of the things that I didn't really expect coming into this season, but they actually handled it very well, is the main plot went really fast. I wasn't expecting that. I thought this was going to be a 20 episode season or something like that, maybe split it up half and half. So I didn't expect to be just 8 episodes long. So when things started moving along really fast, we started figuring stuff out very early on. I'm like, why are we going so fast? Like, we're in the 3rd episode, we're already figuring out stuff that feels like it should be figured out well down the line. Honestly, though, it worked, because the fact that they went so fast means we just got quickly into the story. We quickly kept getting faster and faster and faster. We saw them going on little missions every now and then, but for the most part, it was just fast, and now we're at the end. And it was a good build-up, to the point where now, in this episode, we've got Tom has been figured out to be Christopher. Scotty calls him in and starts talking to him and wants to figure out how much he knows, but he's not telling her anything, so she lets Solomon handle him. And then we get to, honestly, my favorite part of the episode, which is seeing Tom be a badass. I've missed this. I talked about this in some of the Blacklist reviews. One of the things that really frustrated me with Tom's character is, for the last season, he's just been a stay-at-home dad while Liz is the one doing everything. And while I don't mind that much, because they do need somebody to watch the baby, at the same time, it does take a little bit away from Tom's character, because what's his story now? What's going on with him now? Well, it's all been about staying at home with the baby. It's all been about what's going on with Liz. He's there for Liz. He's helping her out. And it just kind of took a lot away from his character. This show kind of gives an outlet for him to be that badass character that I remember from the first season. So that's awesome to see. And so whenever Solomon's interrogating him, and then all of a sudden he tackles him with the chair, breaks out of his handcuffs, knocks him out, handcuffs him to the pipe, and then finishes it off with a I thought we were just becoming friends. Boom. Throw the sunglasses on, play the CSI Miami soundtrack, and walk out of the room. Yeah, that's the Tom that I remember, and getting to see that is awesome. So we see he escapes from Solomon. The FBI manages to get Howard. It was nice to see kind of a little bit of I don't even want to call it really a guest appearance, because technically these shows kind of work in tandem. But seeing Cooper and Liz show up to help get Howard out of this hospital that Scotty was keeping him at, it was pretty interesting seeing them. And so he escapes. He and Tom meet up, and they start talking about what to do next. Meanwhile, Scotty's playing kind of an offensive to get back to them. There's one point where Tom was being tracked down by Nez and Solomon. Nez kind of helps him escape by seeing him but not saying anything. And so this kind of all leads to, I guess, the climactic moment of the episode, where we see Tom and Howard now have to break into this. I don't even know what it was. It was some sort of facility, but it's where Whitehall is being kept. Now, the question was, what is Whitehall? Well, we find out apparently Whitehall is a man. I kind of figured, just because Whitehall sounds like a man's name, and maybe that's just because there was an Elliot Whitehall in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they get in there and they find him, and apparently he's been working on some sort of coding. They've come to find out it's apparently coding for quantum computing. So, yeah, it's all kind of interesting, but at the same time I don't really understand it, so it kind of all goes over my head. Not that I wish I could understand computing, but just listening to them talk about it, I'm just like, you don't say. I'm lost. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, they're trying to get him out of there. Some guys show up with guns. He drops his backpack, which apparently has all of the information in it. And so now they're escaping. Nez and Solomon show up, but Nez helps him escape in probably the best way possible. She gives Solomon the backpack, but drops a nade inside and holds up the pen, and he's like, oh, shit, and tosses the bag aside as it blows up, and that gives him enough time to escape. Somehow they got the information out of the bag, though, or maybe they gave him the wrong bag. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of blanked out in that moment. I was too busy focusing on how are they going to get out of this. I wasn't even paying attention to how exactly did they get out of that, aside from the grenade in the backpack. But they do have the information, they're looking at it, that's when Howard tells them what it's for, the whole quantum computing. Meanwhile, Scotty has Whitehall himself inside of her office, and pretty much that's where that story ends, and the episode ends with, we see Howard going back to the Halcyon, what's it called? Aegis? Something like that. But he's going there and he reveals to the world he's still alive and that Scotty tried to kill him, and he's going to prosecute her to the full extent of the law, but she's going to fight back, and so, it's going to be a long drawn out battle. And that's pretty much setting up for the final episode, which it will either be kind of a trial based episode with some action, I guess spy stuff going on the outside, or the whole trial stuff is just going to be pushed off to the side so we can have an awesome fight. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really looking forward to it. Because honestly, they really did set this up very well. Just the entire build-up for this season, it moved very quickly, and then we hit this moment, and now it's like, this is what it's been building towards. This is what the season has really been building towards, and it is the final showdown between Howard and Scotty. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've got going. A couple scenes that I do want to talk about. One is the whole thing between, I think her name is Kat, maybe? It's Scotty's assistant. We see she's still sleeping with Trevor, or turns out his name is Daniel. We see them sleeping together still, and she's like telling him, we can't tell my boss or anything, and then somehow, I don't know how, but she somehow ends up with Trevor's phone in her pocket, so Scotty goes to call him, and of course his phone is ringing. Yeah. Either this guy is, there's got to be something more here, right? There's got to be something more here. It can't just be this stupid kind of off to the side story about, they're sleeping with the same man. There's got to be something here. Please let this be, please let Trevor be some sort of undercover agent that's trying to work his way in or cause some disruption between Scotty and her assistant, because, come on. What's the point of all of this if not? It's just been some stupid story that I've had to watch and sit through and feel uncomfortable about, because who cares? I want to see about Halcyon and Howard and Christopher and Scotty. I want to see that stuff. This is just like, let's see, we gotta have some emotional stuff, so yeah, let's have Scotty sleeping with some guy that she can reveal her problems to, and then let's have her assistant start sleeping with that guy as well, because we need drama. Forget about gunfights. No, this is the drama we need, guys. It's kind of frustrating. Hopefully it's leading to something. I don't know what, but I'm fingers crossed that something is heading this way, and it has something to do with Trevor, like he's going to be an inside man or something like that. But if it just turns out to be some random story they decide to throw at us, I'll probably be a little pissed about it. Let's see, the other story is kind of the little bit of connection now between Christopher and Scotty. I was wondering if she was going to keep him in the dark, that she knew for most of the episode until the end where she finally reveals, but she pretty much tells him early on that she knows, and that's when she sends him to be interrogated, and it's pretty a brutal interrogation. But there's a moment when he's escaping where she shows up with a gun, and so they both got guns. Well, actually, she has a gun trained on his back, and then he's telling her, if this truly means, if Whitehall means this much to you, just shoot me. Just shoot me. And she doesn't, but then he starts fighting her, and then she reaches for her gun, and he shoots past her. She's like, just go ahead and kill me. Do it. You know you want to. He's like, I'm not like you, and then leaves. So I'm curious to see where that's going, because I do want to see more about their relationship and what this means to them now. And probably part of that is because I assume this isn't going to be a one and done season. I assume they're trying to actually make this into a secondary show. That kind of like what Fear the Walking Dead did, but more effective, because this is actually an enjoyable show compared to Fear the Walking Dead, which now sucks. I'm hoping that, if they are going to try to turn this into another show, I'm curious to see how. Because right now, looking at what's going on, it feels like you've got Howard and Tom that are the good guys, And then Nez is also kind of a good guy. But then you've got Scotty, who's definitely a bad guy, Solomon, who's definitely a bad guy, and then Dumont, who's kind of just having to work for her because it's his job. But I'm feeling like this is kind of the end of the team that we saw this season. But I don't understand how. Like, I don't know. It feels like if this is supposed to be its own show, if this is trying to turn into another show, how is the season going to end to keep that going? Or are they just going to turn it into another team where we've got Howard as a leader and then Tom and Nez and maybe Dumont working together? I don't know. I hope we get some sort of clarification on what's going to happen if they are going to have a next season. And honestly, I want Solomon still on the team. I want Tom working with Solomon because that's kind of fun to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Scotty being in charge because she has sort of this commanding authority to her at times. So I don't know. I guess in all, I'm just really curious to see how this is all going to end because it feels like this is leading to a finale that it's over. This team is done. But I kind of figure it's probably not going to end that way. So looking forward to seeing what they got next week. Well, tomorrow. But yeah, that's about it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Blacklist Redemption reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.